It's disp-
I'd like to call to order this Tuesday, October 15th, 2024 Town Council meeting to order. Could I get a roll call, please?
Mr. East,
Here.
Mr. Clark,
Here.
Mr. Dawson,
Here.
Mr. Ratliff,
Here.
Mr. Klontz,
Here.
Mr. Reese,
Here.
Mayor Collins.
Here. All right, if you would stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Dawson and the invocation by Councilman East.
Of the United States of America, and into the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you'd like to join us in prayer, please bow your head at this time. Heavenly Father, thank you for your continued grace and mercy. We ask that you would guide us this evening in all matters. Please grant us wisdom in all that we do, and may all we do be pleasing to you. In your name we pray. Amen.
All right, I'd like to welcome the guests that are here tonight and online. Thank you for being here. Modifications to public session.
We will need to change the date of the consent agenda from September 17th Town Council minutes to October 1st.
All right.
I'll make a motion to change the date to October 1st on the meeting minutes.
Second.
And if you could do a roll call, please.
Mr. East,
Aye.
Mr. Clark,
Aye.
Mr. Dawson,
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff,
Aye.
Mr. Klontz,
Aye.
Mr. Reese,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye. All right. Now is board updates. If any of you all have any updates from your boards, you can do it now, or if not, well,
I do not, sir.
anyone.
I do for the Pulaski County Emergency Communications Board that I'm on. Would like everybody to sign up for Smart 911. It's an easy way for the dispatchers to know what's going on inside your home, to medications that you take, dogs or cats that you have, where your key is, anything that you want to put on there. You can sign up for Smart 911, okay? And if anybody wants a brochure, I have some, okay? That's it for me.
Anyone else?
I think I've given all my updates on the regional commission stuff. So basically, I don't think there's anything new that needs to be added. So.
All right, we'll move on to the discussion part. First thing on here is National Bank of Blacksburg line of credit letter from Manager Day, if you'd like to.
Sure, yeah, a number of years back, council had voted to take on an unsecured LOC. There's no practical purpose for it. There's no objective for it right now. Financially, the town of Pulaski is very solid. However, this is just like a security blanket. National Bank has got a $500,000 line of credit LOC. Again, it's unsecured, and they just need council's permission to allow Jack and I to be signatures on that line of credit should we ever need it.
And that's a line of credit that only becomes an indebtedness if we actually draw down on it.
Correct. Yeah, there's no fee for it. It's just a, like, again, unsecured line of credit, and it's probably smart to have it, but I just want to echo, there's no objective for it right now. But if we ever do have to have it, it's there. We've used it in the past. Actually, we had one DHCD grant that required it that we still have in place. This particular line of credit we had with another bank, and just for default reasons, it just needed to be renewed. And after talking to that bank, the restrictions and the guidelines and the fees behind it, I didn't feel like were acceptable. So we talked to National Bank, and they've stepped up to the plate. Again, I want to echo, there's no reason for the line of credit. It's just a healthy, practical blanket that we have in case we ever need it. And you'll have to do this every year, by the way.
Do they need an actual resolution from us or just a motion?
Just a vote, and also recognize that Jackie Morris, your finance director, and also myself are approved signatures for that line of credit.
Are most of our deposits still with National Bank?
A lot of them are, yes, sir. Matter of fact, most of them are.
Okay. And just as I'm thinking about it at the moment, we're not worried about like exceeding an FDIC threshold. Okay.
Absolutely not. No, sir. Need a motion, Mayor.
If there's no other comments or questions, make a motion that we approve Mr. Day and Jackie Morris as signatories on National Bank of Blacksburg line of credit. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Second.
And may I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
All right.
Mayor Collins?
Aye. Next is moving on canceling November 5th council meeting due to Election Day. Mr. Day.
Yeah, obviously, we're closed on election day. Had it not been for that, I don't know how council usually has done it in the past. I would suggest just having the meeting. However, if you've got to either remove the meeting and reschedule it or cancel it, I would encourage you to consider just canceling the meeting due to the holidays and everything going on, trying to reschedule. That quick ahead is sometimes tough. I don't have anything in the foresight for November. If something comes up, I'll always communicate with y'all, let you know, and if we need to reconsider that. But I would encourage you to just cancel that November meeting due to the elections, and we'll look at the second meeting in November to meet.
I think we've done it both ways, depending on the agenda, of necessity. Yeah.
Absolutely. If something comes up, it's pressing. I'll absolutely get you guys back together.
It does bring up a point that I was going to mention at some point, and I kept forgetting to do it, is that previously, before my tenure, or at the beginning of my tenure, we used to have a regular meeting once a month and then a work session. And at some point, because of the volume of stuff going on, we switched to 2 meetings a month, 2 regular meetings, because it would eliminate confusion and stuff like that. And it made me, and it seems like the level of, sort of items for consideration has gone down somewhat. So I was wondering if maybe it might be a good time to sort of for at least for the next calendar year with new people coming on, is to say, do we need to schedule, 24 meetings a year, or should we consider amending that in some way?
Olivia and I, along with staff, has had that conversation a multitude of times. So legislatively, the Commonwealth allows for special called meetings. It doesn't have to be an emergency meeting, but I think it's absolutely something we need to look at, maybe during the work sessions coming up, the budget work sessions. That would take a legislative action to do that.
Okay.
Change the charter, but absolutely. And by the way, we still do have the work sessions, but you're exactly right. We've got a lot of projects coming on. Those same projects that were on the table 3.5, 4 years ago are still on the table, by the way. We are just we're really efficient. So, yeah, absolutely. I think we need to discuss it and look at options there.
I think the only concern you run into there is it's about frequency of public access too. Not that public access can't reach the town and reach us at any moment, in time, but the frequency of having a public forum as opposed to a month is a long time sometimes when something may be in front of the community. To be able to speak up is certainly a concern.
I've done it both ways at other localities. The last one I worked at, we met once a month. I think the county meets once a month. Is that correct? So, yeah, again, it's worth discussion and consideration, so we'll do that in the upcoming budget year. For now, I would recommend canceling.
Yeah. If someone wants to make a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to cancel the November 5th council meeting. Get that out, due to the election day, and not to be rescheduled unless something comes forward in the future.
Second.
If I can have a roll call for that, please.
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
Mayor Collins?
Aye. All right. moving on, we're to the public comment period now. I have 2 speaker slips. First one I have is Kennedy Cullis. Oh, Jordan? Okay, yes, then Jordan. I'm sorry.
And sir, if this is your first time, just so you know, for the record, we ask that people state their full name and their address, just so that we have that on the record. Thank you.
My name is Jordan Cullis. I live at 27 Fifth Street Northwest in Pulaski, the town. I'm here today to speak about the Town of Pulaski Code of Ordinance, Article 2, Section 38, under sound. I have recently adopted a Great Pyrenees. His name is Charlie. He's 4 years old. He's about 80 pounds. Before he came to our home, he was on a farm where he had a job as a livestock guardian. And you see, in recent years, my neighbors and I have seen an increase in property theft, trespassing, random items like bags filled with drug paraphernalia, clothing with feces smeared on them, and trash being abandoned on our properties. If I can find my spot again. In the month of July, we had an individual attempt to break into our home twice while my wife and I were at church. We were serving as camp counselors at the time. We would see the individual on our security cam. We would then call the police, and the individual would hear the sirens and run away. And then as soon as the police were gone out of our area, he would come back and he would be on our front door, violently shaking the handle on our front door. By the second time he attempted to break into our home, my wife and I had made it home ourselves, and we were actually across the street at our neighbor's house. And the man that we saw on the camera walked up to us, and he made a shape like this and pointed at my wife and made a gesture like that at her. This is where Charlie, our guardian, comes in. Since we have had him, trespassing has decreased. But my wife and I have found out recently that the barking of a dog, day or night, is not a sound that is protected under the exceptions of Article 2, Section 38. Not during the day or night at all. So my plea to you all today is to add a 12th exemption that includes the sound of a dog barking on its owner's property during the daytime. Whatever time you guys deem appropriate would be awesome. This would allow our guardian to do his job that he was born to do. My wife and I are currently facing a fine of up to $500 and even 10 days in jail because over the course of approximately 3 months, 4 people made a call about our dog barking. I really wish that you would consider this, especially because the man who trespassed twice that we have video of trying to break into our home, the same man that walked up to us while we were speaking to a police officer and pointed his hand at her like a gun, he faced no fine and he was not taken to jail. But because we got a dog in order to protect ourselves, we're now facing a fine. That's all I have to say. Ever since we've gotten Charlie, he has made our children feel safer. My youngest son, Samuel, was not afraid of the dark at one time, and now he is because of the incident that happened. My daughter, Kennedy, and my other son, Jude, also feel the same way. Again, this is not so that our dog can be left outside all night long and be barking and keeping people awake. It's just so that he can be out there during the daytime where there are other sounds present and things like that. So I would just like for you all to seriously consider perhaps adding an ordinance that would also protect not only my dog, but all the dogs that are within the neighborhood. Because at any time during the day, if you go outside on Fifth Street, you can hear dogs barking all the way up the hill and all the way down to the train tracks. So, thank you all. That's all I have to say.
All right, thank you, Jordan. And then Kennedy, do you want to come up? You can.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's bendable. You can.
Right there.
There you go. Okay, I'll stand with you.
My name is Kennedy Collis, and I live on 5th Street, and I want to talk about how important our dog is to us. In June, we got our dog Charlie. We got him because people had been trespassing on our property. In July, while at church camp, a trespasser tried to get into our house twice. Ever since, me and my brothers have been afraid to live in our house, but Charlie keeps people off of our property. Recently, we've been getting calls about him barking during the day. The last time a cop came to our house about him barking, he said we can't have him outside during the day. Me and my brothers don't feel safe without him outside protecting us. I have recently been locking my door out of fear that someone will break into our home. Me and my brothers feel safer with our dog outside protecting our home. We ask if you could please change the ordinance so that we can have him outside at least during the day. And that's all I have to say.
Thank
you.
you, Kennedy. Thank you. Any discussion?
I would just ask, I don't know how long it's been, since this ordinance has been maybe looked at and put under advisement, to look at maybe what other options or other ordinances are out there. I know, even beyond, the situation that was brought up here, we allow, we've got roosters in town, and they certainly don't care if it's 8 o'clock, or not, and I think those are things that are certainly part of the community that, I believe most of our citizens are probably engaged in, and having pets and having, we've got all, across the community. It's not in the ordinance, as they said. And so I don't know if there's other verbiage, that maybe we can look at what's out there that may be able to benefit. If we're looking at this ordinance, let's just go ahead and look at it, completely in the, there may be aspects of it for the police department that could benefit them in being able to enforce the right restraints, and then give protection, to citizens in the right way for things that are active in the community. So, maybe we can just kind of take, this as an opportunity. Appreciate you guys coming, to maybe look at the noise ordinance as a whole and see what all, we think could benefit it.
We'll absolutely do that.
And another thing, I know that I have received complaints from community members about dogs barking all day long. And so it might be worth considering or examining if any other jurisdictions have sort of an intermediary between just like a blanket, you can do whatever you want during the day, and because I think the county has one that like limits it if it's like more than an hour or something like that. I mean, I think there's sort of a pro and con, because I know that people have told me, I work at home and the dog is barking all day long, and I can see how just like a leaf blower or anything else like that, at a certain point,
Yeah.
it becomes disruptive regardless of the need for the underlying thing that causes the noise. So maybe if we could look at that too.
Absolutely will. Yeah, we'll look at other jurisdictions. One thing about local government is you don't ever have to reinvent the wheel. Some other localities usually done that homework for you. You just have to find it. So we'll absolutely look at that and see what alternatives and options are out there.
If I could, I would like to ask the chief a question. I'm kind of curious about, and I understand, and I agree with what's been said here regarding the dog barking. We went through the sound ordinance. It's been several years ago. It's very hard. It's a very subjective thing. So whether the dog's barking an hour or 10 hours, it's really kind of hard to nail down. But I agree that you shouldn't feel threatened if your dog barks occasionally that you're going to get a $500 fine and, you know, thrown in jail for 10 days. That's a little ridiculous. So, so yeah, there's probably a happy medium. But my question for the chief is, you know, if you have an individual, and I've had similar experiences, I'm on third. If an individual steps on your property and jiggles the doorknob, that's pretty egregious. From your perspective, or legally, what is there that a citizen can do?
Trying to deprive that individual of some type of property. With their case and stuff like that right there, from what the report had said was the individual thought that was where a friend lived. Whether that's the case or not, can't say. That's what the officer wrote in the report.
Okay.
There was some other issues with that right there that's been addressed with the patrol captain down to the officers. Some of the things that happened that shouldn't have happened.
Okay. But once an individual steps on your property and then, you know, maybe there's a warning the first time. If he or she comes back on that property, I mean, is there anything at that point? Is that an arrest? Can they be arrested for that or?
So, like on this incident here, what should have transpired but didn't transpire is when they got the individual and they told the individual not to come back on there.
Mayor, I think that's the wrong atmosphere for that discussion. So,
And I'm sorry, I wasn't really trying to get to the specifics of what would happen in your case. I'm just more generally speaking. Yeah, for other citizens out there, it happened to me, and I had to go. You know, I went into, and I ended up filling out a form. It's a commercial property that said that, you know, if you didn't live there, then it was a trespassing. You know.
Here, for the trespassing here, if an individual, whether it's a business, property, told to leave, the owners don't want you here, or the caretakers don't want you here, they leave, they come back, then we write them a summons. This is on what the Commonwealth and the judge wants. You write them a summons, then you tell them leave again, if they come back again, then we have the authority to arrest them. So we have to warn, then we summons.
Okay. So technically, you could write that the first time on private property, for instance, anyone. The second time. Okay.
Sit there and verbally tell them that they're not to be on this property. Then if they come back to that property, then you can write the summons, escort them back off, and if they come back again, then you can arrest them.
Okay. And that would be for a private citizen as well. Anyone. Okay.
That's for a property owner.
For a property owner.
And
Thank you.
any property owner.
Yeah, that's-
I mean,
Property owner, caretaker, whoever. I mean,
right. It
who
does.
signed the form that says, you know, hey, it gives us the authority to tell people not to.
But a private citizen would need that form signed, or would that be after the first offense would have to sign that form? What I'm trying to establish is a process for people that may be listening, so they don't have to kind of guess what it is, because, you know, something like that should be squashed immediately.
Sign that paper, that way if they're gone and there's somebody there, and our officers has never seen that person there on that property, then we can go ahead and tell them that they need to leave, and then we can go in that aspect.
Okay.
That's your first warning, and then summons and arrest. So we would prefer them to do that, but if the property owners, if we get called there and the property owners say, hey, I don't want them there, then that could be the first step as well.
Okay.
We would prefer to have the signed form that we have as far as letting us be the ones kind of the caretakers of saying, hey, we don't want you there.
Okay.
there's a multitude of technicalities that interfere and derail that normal operation.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, I mean, the perception of a situation here tonight may have a world of other details, and again, it is not the right atmosphere to discuss specific legal matters, but the overall idea is to try to respond to the public accordingly to the best of our ability and follow the guidelines that are there. And, you know, Chief and his officers do a great job at that. Again, there's always exceptions to every rule when situations arise that are not that transparent, so.
Sure. And I was, again, and that was no reflection on the job that you guys do. I think it's more important that citizens are aware as a general rule, what that process looks like. I mean, unfortunately, it's an issue that we face occasionally here in town, and being understanding the path and what needs to happen, and kind of squashing it as quickly as it can be squashed is a safety matter, and obviously for these guys too. So, thank you, Chief. I appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, we'll move to the consent agenda. For your consideration, is October 1st, 2024 Town Council meeting minutes. If you've looked over them and you think that they're good, if someone make a motion, please, to accept those.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the Tuesday, October 1st, 2024 council meeting minutes.
Second.
May I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye. Next is council comments. Mr. East, do you have anything?
I have nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Mr. Clark?
2 meetings left.
Just want to thank the fire department for the fire parade, and the food was good. So, it was good. Good barbecue.
Mr. Dawson?
Certainly, I agree with it. Thanks to the fire department, Friends of Peak Creek. Just thank you to them. I thought you was gonna be running. Yeah, I thought they did a really good job. You know, it's a good start. You know, wasn't a huge crowd, but it was a great crowd, and I look forward to them hopefully continuing to do that and building upon it. And
He was trying to reel me in food line after the last meeting. He didn't even show.
but that's all. Thank you.
All righty. Mr. Ratcliffe?
Just one thing is, Councilman East and I get ready to off the council and the new people coming on. I just want to tell the remaining council people to keep your course, because I'll tell you, what you have to work with is, excuse my language, a hell of a lot better than what Mr. East and I had for the first 4 years we was here. It was a battle. We battled everybody. It doesn't matter who it was, but you got a good town manager. You got great staff. Chief of police, got a great attorney back in here. You got people that's really wanting to move this town forward, and you're building with Memorial Drive coming up, structures being built. You guys just hold your course, and if you need anything, you call Mr. East. And my number's going to change as I leave here. But I've really enjoyed it. We've been up here for several years, and it's just time for some new people, new vision. I've really enjoyed working with you guys. And Mr. Day, one of the bright spots was getting to hire you and bring you on in, and just bought your house here. And so it's been a pleasure. And we probably got another meeting at Tops, but probably be my last one. But I'll be back one more time anyway. But I've really enjoyed it. Got great citizens, my church family here, and you guys, come up, council, that's what you do. That's what you do tonight. Little lady, that's what you do. That's what you're for. That's what these guys are setting up here to listen to your complaints. Send it to the chief. Send it to the town manager. We'll come up with something. May not get the guy arrested tonight, but I'll guarantee the chief will get him before it's over somewhere or another. So glad to see y'all. But anyway, that's about all I got, Mr. Mayor, and I think you're returning. You guys just toe the line, and I'll I'll be available for any boards. Mr. Day, don't write tonight. Call me first. Anything y'all need, I'd be more than glad to step plate. Thank you. That's all I got, Mr. Mayor.
I guarantee you he'll still call me. I'll get your number, his number back to you, don't worry. Mr. Klontz. All right, Mr. Reese?
Yeah, just I've been noticing that there's several streetlights out. I'll get Mr. Day the exact numbers, and this is also for the purposes of letting the community know. If you see something like a streetlight out, they all have a little metal plate on them with a number on them, and that helps us tell AEP just exactly which one is out. I know they're in the process of replacing all of them with LEDs, and that's always been and it's great that it would happen, but it's just not been there yet. And but I do think that if those are the kinds of things that if you just let us know, we can at least start the process. We can get on their list because that's the most important thing. These things don't always happen quickly, but they hopefully do happen.
They started that transition yet?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's
LEDs?
yeah, it's just sort of hit and miss, I think. And I know that we've got a lot of those things throughout the town. We've got some aged infrastructure, but we just got to keep on it. And the more we bug them, the sooner they hopefully do it. So when they're not busy, cleaning up after a hurricane. That's it. Thanks.
So I have two things. One is, I know that was last year we did this thing where we did a pothole. You picked a pothole. Could we look into doing that again for people? It's the citizens messaged and said there's these potholes because we get a lot of complaints. I know one, especially going up Washington, right beside Trinity Lutheran Church. That one needs to be done for sure. But if we could, I don't remember what we called it, but we
That's a good idea because the asphalt plants will be closing soon.
Yeah.
So historically, we've done kind of the same thing in the years past, and absolutely.
Okay.
Maybe I think last year you said take a picture of it, submit it on Facebook, let us know where and when and how and all that kind of stuff. And
we tried to get as many as we could.
yeah,
I'll revisit that social media post and put it out again.
that'd be great.
The
Because it really did make a huge difference. I know a lot of my most annoying potholes got filled, so hopefully that was true of everybody else too.
The other thing is, last night they had the homecoming parade, and it's the past few years because I judged it 2 years ago because I remember it was election year and I kissed a goat for your vote, but that was beside the point. But it's always in Dublin, and I would like to find out who puts it on and see if we could do it where we do the 4th of July because we're a small community, so we do them every other year. So I'm wondering, could we do that where we have it every other year for the homecoming parade too? Just if we could look into it.
Yeah, we absolutely.
It just, I mean, we have a lot of citizens that live here in town that not just all in Dublin, so it would be nice to have it here too every other year. Also, I said two, but the fire parade was pretty cool. Once again, got to ride in the bucket truck, and I appreciate that. I love that. So I think I might be the only one that's rode in the bucket truck in that parade, but I like doing that. So get to see everybody's face, and the little kids that wave is the best. Their little hands are going to fall off, and I know how they feel because my little hands were about to fall off too. So, but all right. With that, we'll move on to the manager's report. Manager Day.
Absolutely. And, I want to echo the comments that council made about the fire parade. I've participated in fire parades for a lot of years. That right there was more than a fire parade. I believe half the Commonwealth was there. Actually, they did have some amazing barbecue, but when we got to the end of it, now this is just me, I've never been to it, but when we got to the end of it, I actually ate my meal and was going to walk back to town hall to get my vehicle and hit on home. But the parade was still going by. That was off the hook. I mean, that was really amazing to see that. And I'd like to see it grow. I mean, I'll encourage that. So it was amazing.
It was a good barbecue, wasn't it?
Absolutely was. Absolutely was. Yeah, I had good company too, by the way.
I don't know. I saw you standing beside him, so I don't know how good the company was, but.
on, Jeremy, help me out. a little bit.
I said it was good barbecue.
I tried. So when it comes to the street lights, Councilman Reese brought up, so AEP does have a street light program. There's a number that you can call. And regardless of that transition, we're still very much under a contract with AEP, and they typically have a timeline to replace those lights. So programs being at nighttime, typically the police department, when they're working their beats, can identify those poles, and it's a great way to do it at night. So we'll do that. As Reese said, there's been a lot of destruction across the United States, so we'll take that also into consideration. I know this is no big deal to cancel, but I actually went home today for lunch. Yeah, so I made my transition move over the weekend, and tickled pink to be here and part of the community. So the cruise in, I want to remind you that the cruise in at Jackson Park, is this the last one, by the way? It's 11 a.m. to 4, Saturday, October 19th. Trick or treat, West Main Street, 5 to 7, Halloween night on West Main Street. November the 5th, council meeting. November the 5th, town offices and convention center will be closed for election day. GFL is scheduled to be announced coming up. That's all I've got, Mayor.
All righty. Well, all I have left is a reminder of future council meetings. Our next one will be Tuesday, November 19th, closed session at 6, and open session starts at 7. As I have nothing else on the agenda, I declare this meeting adjourned.